Good morning, students. In today's class, we are going to study about metrology in air pollution control engineering, Unit 2 Metrology. So, this is the air quality modeling. This is an example for air quality modeling, AQM. Here, the first point is we have to predict pollutant concentrations at various locations around the source. Then, identify source contribution to air quality problems. Third point, assess source impacts and design control strategies. Fourth point, predict future pollutant concentrations from sources after implementations of new regulatory programs. So this is the four major points under air quality modeling. That is, first pollutant we have to concentrate at various locations, then we have to contribute, then we have to assess some impacts and control design strategies, then we have to predict future pollutant concentrations from sources after implementations of new regulatory programs. So next one is area surrounding the site of release. So this actually this pictures represents the population unit, and this light color it represents the area with ground level concentration above the standard, and this thick color, this is dark color represents the area with ground level concentrations 10 times more above the standard. So this is the example of this uh, picture is an example for area surrounding the site of release. So next one is air quality modeling. So mathematical and numerical techniques which are used in AQM to simulate the dispersion of air pollutants. So the first one is first classification is modeling of the dispersion of the pollutants. First point, toxic and odorous substance. Second point, single or multiple points. Third one, point, area or volume sources. Next classification, that is input data record for air quality modeling. First one is source characteristics, then meteorological conditions. Third one is site and surrounding conditions. So types of pollutant sources: point source, area source and volume source. Point sources example is stacks or vents. Area sources example is landfills, ponds and storage piles. And volume sources example is conveyor structures with multiple vents. This one is model, box model is actually a simplest of all model type. And here our assumption is first one, the air shed, that is a given volume of atmospheric air in geographical region is in the shape of box. Okay, so here the model is in terms of box model. So it is called as, the shape is in terms of box. So it is called as box model. Okay, so it is of here it is of three axis: x axis, y axis and z axis. So in x axis actually here it is of length represented as length L, and W is here W is the width. Okay, and H represents the height. H represents the height. Here x axis, y axis and z axis, and here the wind velocity is u. Okay, so here this box model, it represents actually three axes: x axis, y axis and z axis. Here the air shed, that is a given volume of atmospheric air is in a geographical region in the shape of the box, that is it is called as a box model. That comes under the first assumption. And the second assumption is air pollution inside the box are homogeneously distributed, and that assumption is used to estimate the average pollutant concentration anywhere within the air shed. So this is the box model, this is the Gaussian model. Okay, so this is a Gaussian model, and here this one is oldest and most commonly used type of model, and it is also called as diffusion model. Okay, so it is also called as diffusion model, and this one is based on the Gaussian distribution, that is pollution distribution has a normal probability distributions. Fourth point, it is used for predicting the dispersion of non-continuous or air pollutant plumes. And fifth point, the primary algorithm which is used in Gaussian modeling is the generalized dispersion equation for a continuous point source plume. Okay, so here this diagram represents x-axis and y-axis and z-axis, and here this one is h of x is actual stack height. Okay, this one is h represents the actual stack height. Then h of e means effective stack height. Okay, so this one is effective stack height, this is actual stack height, this h of x actual stack height, this is effective stack height at the point x1, at the point x2 and at the point x3. This one represents the wind plume. Okay, so actually this arrow mark indicates plume central line, and here the at each profiles the pollutant concentration profiles are indicated at a point x1, x2 and x3. Okay, so this is the primary algorithm which is used in Gaussian modeling, which is the generalized dispersion equation for a continuous point source plume. And this is a Gaussian model assumptions. The first ones we have to consider under a steady state conditions, which implies that the rate of emission from point source should be constant. That is the main point. Next one is homogeneous flow, which implies the wind speed is constant both at time as well as with the height. Third point, pollutant is conservative and no gravity fallout. Fourth point, perfect reflection of the plume at the underlying surface, that is no ground absorption. Fifth point, the terrain underlying the plume should be flat. So these are the basic assumptions of the Gaussian models, and this is advantages. It produces results that match closely with the experimental data. It incorporates turbulence in an ad hoc manner. Third point, simple in their mathematics. Fourth one, quicker than numerical models. And last one is do not require supercomputers. So the disadvantage of Gaussian model is it is not suitable if the pollutants is reactive in nature, fails to incorporate turbulence and comprehensive sense, unable to predict concentration beyond the radius of approximately 20 km. For greater distance, wind variations, mixing depths and temporal variations become predominant. Okay, thank you.